So as we get ready for September 1st, I'm recording this in late August 2026, you're going to see more people in your yoga classes. I mean, beginning of September is kind of like the beginning of January. Everybody's getting back to their exercise routines after taking the summer off. So I want to give you a list of things to just have in place so that you can head into this time feeling in control and calm and able to manage all the different things, like more people in your classes, more beginners in your classes, stuff like that. So the first thing is to have your signature sequence ready. Now, I do have a training video linked in my bio for how to create a signature sequence, but briefly, what this is you create a sequence that's full of all the stuff you love, not the stuff even maybe you were trained to teach, like it's really your signature, what you want to show up and teach. And you stick with that for a period of time. And I don't know how long you stick with it. You could stick with it forever. But if you are looking for just some sort of metrics as to when you can change it, and of course you can do whatever you want, but this is just my suggestion, look for shifts like, I can teach this without forgetting it. I can teach it without getting nervous. I can teach it without notes. I can teach it by walking around. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using notes, of course, but if you're constantly looking at them, you're not watching your students. There's nothing wrong inherently with practicing with your class, but let's face it, when you're watching your students, you can actually see how they're doing. You can see if your cues are even working. So again, sometimes people say to me when they hear about this concept, well, how long do I need to stick with it? Well, that's up to you. But if you're looking for some meaningful metrics as to when you can change it or change a particular part of it, look for things like, hey, I'm really feeling confident. I don't forget this. I don't need to practice it in order to remember it. I can walk around the room, things like that. Once you've mastered that, then sure, go ahead and tweak it a little bit. So that's one thing I would have in place. Another thing is I would have in place an approach to cueing, what I call a framework rather than a script, rather than repeating the same stuff over and over again. And there's more to this, but for time purposes, I'm just going to leave you with one suggestion. One of the frameworks I teach when I train teachers is teach to action. So I'm just going to leave that as a suggested approach. I do have a training video on this. It's not linked in my bio, but if you DM me, I can send it to you. So just think about, you're going in the room. You don't need a script. You're just looking at everything through the lens of, I'm just going to teach to action. Step your foot forward, reach your arms up, bring your feet together, things like that. The next thing is, and I mentioned this earlier, but it's worth repeating, stick to your signature sequence for the month of September. Quite honestly, even October, but we're talking primarily about September. So stick with your signature sequence. And again, this is going to bring up a belief that, well, don't I need to change it? What if they get bored? All of that is just a belief. I mean, there are literal yoga empires that are built on teaching the same sequence over and over again. So don't come at me and say that's not possible. Just stick with it, because the more you stick with it, the better you remember it, the less you have to think about it, the better teacher you can be because you're not worried about the sequence. The last thing is to track after every class what worked and what didn't. And I don't want to hear about, well, people said they liked it or I got good feedback. I'm not talking about what people said. That's just their opinion. What's most important in my mind is how you felt. So after every class you teach in September, make a list in your journal of things that worked, things that didn't, because these are the problems you need to solve for. So that's it. That's your list of things you can do between now, end of August, get ready for September, and then through the month of September, so you can be teaching confidently and with ease and having fun.